Hey, what up? What up? Saturday, January the 29th. So, this topic, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the Iman Quickley contract and whatnot. But first, let's talk about Kawhi Leonard, right? And you know, it's been some time. It's 2019, we won the championship, and ever since Kawhi left, it was a lot of patience. I had to study patience and say, you know what? I have a big feeling that this is going to be one of the dumbest decisions ever made. Um, I had to wait. It was a gamble. I thought it was the dumbest decision, but I couldn't be sure at the time because he could have easily went to the Clippers and won something over there. Things could have went better, or even the year after, or the year after, right? But when you look at the Clippers, things just keep getting worse and worse and worse to the point now where Paul George is testing free agency. Doesn't mean Paul George won't go back to the Clippers, but I wouldn't be surprised if Paul George left, you know, and that would probably be the beginning of the end for uh maybe not Kawhi's career, but definitely the Clippers. Now, I mean, there's a lot of no-brainers, right? People will say you can look at the Raptors squad after Kawhi left and it's a no-brainer. You know what? It's not a no-brainer, but look at what happened. We went to the second round in the playoffs. First of all, finished second in the East. Okay, don't forget that. Finished with a 53-19 record without Kawhi. Okay, went to the playoffs. Went to the second round against the Boston Celtics. Went 7 games with a pretty good Boston Celtics team. You see what I'm saying? Add Kawhi to that team. I mean, come on, come on. You know, moving on to the Lakers. You look at the Lakers squad. Remember, the Lakers squad had Danny Green. He helped that squad quite a bit. So put tip Danny Green in our favor because he'd be playing for us, right? And plus, when you look at the Lakers, not the best squad, right? Raptors had a lot of success playing outside of the country. Now think about it. Playing here in Toronto is an advantage because teams have to leave America to come play here. So there's a lot of advantages as a Toronto Raptor when you're playing in Toronto. So to play in another country and not get to play in your hometown, which is outside of the country, is huge. I mean, people don't look at it like that. You can talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers playing in Florida, but at the same time, they're still playing in America. Okay, so Toronto lost. We lost that advantage we had being playing in the North, where teams would have to leave their country to come and play us. And through all of that, we still made it to where we made it. So, I mean, you won the first one by accident, pretty much. Okay, I'm gonna play something from Draymond Green because the reason I'm talking about this is because Draymond Green brought it up. And when we talk about the dumbest decisions ever, first I'm gonna think about Dennis Schroeder. Okay, Dennis Schroeder turned down the 84 million. That's gonna come up, and then Kawhi Leonard. So I'm gonna ask y'all, anyone listening, who do you think made the dumbest decision between Kawhi Leonard and Dennis Schroeder? Dennis Schroeder turning down the 4 years, or was it five? Yeah, I believe it was 4 years, 84 million, and Kawhi pretty much leaving a city where he won a championship pretty much by accident. No one has ever really won a championship by accident, really, much less to win a championship by accident and then leave. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get to what Draymond Green had to say about it. But yeah, I mean the following year and think about that same season when you think about load management. Toronto was the biggest when it came to load. We were the best load management team, period. Right? Of course, no one was really paying attention to what we got going. We fly under the radar, which is a good thing. Some players may not like that because when we won the championship, it's not like Americans were celebrating it. It was really something we were celebrating here in Toronto and in Canada. But it was a good thing because people were saying, okay, yeah, Kawhi is resting, but it wasn't something they were talking about on TV all the time. Since he's been with the Clippers, that's like the main discussion. Kawhi is, he's resting, he's injured, he's injured. It didn't matter when he played in Toronto because we're still winning games. I think what was our record without Kawhi? I think it was 17-5. Let me check to make sure. I think we were 17-5 without Kawhi. All right. When in games where Kawhi didn't play. And even there was games where we would load manage Kawhi even throughout the game and allow him to rest throughout the game and then play him when we really needed to play him. You see what I'm saying? If we were blowing a team out or if we had a good lead, we just rest him. So the load management, a lot of people don't talk about Toronto's load management. I haven't seen another team do it the way we did it. And also, you're more on the radar when you do it on especially on the Clippers. Everybody's watching you. Oh, Kawhi's resting again. Oh, Kawhi. When it was here in Toronto, a lot of people weren't really paying attention to that, you know? So let's get to what Draymond Green had to say about it. I'm going to pull it up now. He had a discussion with Nick Nurse. Shout out to Nick Nurse. Of course, he was the coach of that 2019 championship team. So we'll listen to what he had to say about it. All right.
Hustle because there may not be anything to wait for, but he knew that about the 6 minute mark, 6.5, he'd go back in, but he knew and he just dominated. He just made every play at both ends, every tough rebound. Like he really knew what he kind of had in the tank and what he could provide, and I just admired that about him because he really would go make plays at both ends that were just, that's what I love, guys making plays at both ends. And they were just huge plays,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's incredible. Obviously, we were on the wrong side of it. I must say, I was absolutely shocked. And, I know he's an LA guy or San Diego, Southern California guy. Wanted to get back closer to home. But that may be the only player in the NBA that can win a championship with a team, probably get offered the entire country of Canada, and leave and go back to the Clippers. Like, I can't think of any other guy in the NBA that would turn that down as a 12-year.
So, Draymond saying, and as we talk about, a lot of people talk about legacies. We talk about GOATs. We talk about, was this player better than that player? How many players won championships or whatnot? Now players are starting to talk about things like who did the stupidest thing in the NBA, who made the dumbest decision in the NBA. Those things are going to be talked about, and Draymond Green's bringing it up in a nice way because I know him and Kawhi are pretty cool. He's trying to be nice about it, but pretty much what he's saying is he just can't believe that like someone would make the decision that he made, being that he had the whole city in his hands. And to me, it's not about the fact that, he could have been able to Kawhi and dine and people are going to pay his taxes, buy him cars and give him a home to live in. Yeah, that's one part of it. That's great and all. But the legacy to me is like the biggest part. Maybe Kawhi is not a guy who's quite concerned about his legacy. You have players who don't really care too much about that. Maybe Kawhi is that type of player that's not concerned about, how many chips he wins or how many MVPs. If that's the case, then I guess he made the right decision. If playing, if nostalgia, being back in LA and feeling good is more important than stamping your name as one of the greatest players to play the game, then okay, then maybe it wasn't the dumbest decision. Maybe he made a smart decision, right? But if that's the case, then he would stay in LA regardless. I mean, it would the stupidest thing I could see now is Kawhi actually leaving LA. Might as well stay there because you walked away from a possible two-time NBA champion in Toronto, so he would have been three-time champion. And a lot of people said that he could have possibly won the third one. I mean, I don't want to go that far, but think about it. We would have went up against Milwaukee, who maybe at some point Giannis would have figured out how to get past Marc Gasol and the wall that Marc Gasol and Kawhi had in front of him. So Milwaukee would have been the challenge. But if we got past Milwaukee to play Phoenix, come on, we would have definitely beat that team. I definitely feel like the Raptors. So yeah, possible three-time champion in Toronto. So he would have finished his legacy with 4 championships. Then LA would still be there because LA is not going anywhere, right? LA is always going to be in LA, right? And he could have went to LA then. And wouldn't LA embrace him more with open arms, coming to LA with more, like, what, even, let's say not the 3 champions, right? But even if he went to LA as a 3-time champion, right? I think that'd be respected more. Like, his career is it's unfinished. When he went to LA, he went to LA with unfinished business. He left unfinished business pretty much on the table. That's the way I'm looking at it. And I don't think Kawhi will ever get back there. And he'll drop. He'll just continue to drop as one of the greatest players to play the game. I don't think we will mention him. His trajectory was going up in terms of him being one of the greatest players because what he did in San Antonio and the way he won a championship in Toronto. A lot of people think that it was Kawhi that carried the team. Really, it wasn't. He had a strong team, but the image he had was that it was all him. So, and Toronto really wouldn't have cared. Fine, take all the glory, right? But bring the championship, right? I think that would have done a whole lot. To be that he didn't want to come to Toronto, he got sent to Toronto, and to win championships by accident, that would have been crazy. That would have had his name pretty much pretty high up there in the books, you know? So, yeah, so, hey, let me know what y'all think. Was Kawhi's decision to leave Toronto after he won a championship by accident, was that the dumbest decision ever made in NBA history? Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. And shout out to 6 Canada TV. Shout out to Justin Danforth. 6 Canada TV says, bruh can't even win a championship on the Lakers. Yeah, and it's not gonna happen. Now Paul George looking like he wants to leave. So, we'll see what happens with that. But Justin Danforth, didn't you do your live? Yeah, I'm doing a live right now. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Y'all should be able. I see there's 5 people in here. So, okay, Justin says he was the best player in the NBA that year. Kawhi? Yeah, pretty much. And we made him look like that. Like, we rested him. Like, he got to rest games. Like, he rested the games he needed to rest. And I don't know if y'all heard the part, but there was a part where Nick Nurse mentioned that there's points in the game where he would tell Kawhi, okay, it's time to get back in there, and Kawhi would be like, oh no, I'm not ready yet. And Nick Nurse would be like, you got to get in there, man. We need you now. Like, you know what I mean? So we had to really pull Kawhi up to get him to the point where he was. And we made him look really good, man. We made him look really good because the squad was that good. You see what I'm saying? And tell me another thing. Has Kawhi looked the way he looked that year he played here in Toronto? Has he ever looked like that ever again? Please tell me that. And when? So I could go check it out. Because I haven't seen Kawhi look anything like the way he did in that 2018-2019 season. And I think that has a lot to do with what we have here in Toronto. We have a great development staff. We got great medical staff. We got everything you need, right? And I think people seem to overlook that. And I think that really helped Kawhi get through that season. and it would have been better if he stayed. So let me know what y'all think. But I heard Justin saying Kawhi should just retire. Hey, yeah, maybe that's coming soon. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah. So moving on to Quickly, 175 milli, a whole lot of money, whole lot of money. So that's 35 a year, 5 years. Um, I mean, inflation is a big part of it, right? The bags are just getting bigger. There's no way around that. Uh, and I do think it's somewhat of a risk. Somewhat of a risk. It was intentional. I know that Masai had every intention of keeping Quickly around once he acquired once he got him with RJ Barrett. Plus, like I said, what Masai is trying to build is a core team with good chemistry, a good morale, guys who want to stay here, who want to play here. Quickly and RJ Barrett are good friends. Obviously, RJ Barrett is from the city, so there's a lot of things that are good in terms of the chemistry of the team, and I think that's what Masai is trying to build, that chemistry and longevity here in Toronto amongst the guys. So Justin's saying not worth it. Now, I hear you. Like I said, it's partly inflation. You're gonna see the bags getting bigger. I I forgot. Let me know if you know how much Siakam got, but I'm pretty sure it's in the 40 million range. When we seen how much Van Fleet got, how much was I think Van Fleet got about 40, right? So the bags are just getting bigger, and we could say it's not worth it to me. But when I go to McDonald's, that McDonald's meal is not worth $16 either, right? But that's what they're charging. That's what they're charging, and that's a big part of why you're seeing these bags get bigger. Now, if Quickly can make the jump that Maxi did that year when he went from pretty much the year what Quickly is now, like 17 points a game, jumping to like about 20, 22 points a game. That's what I'm expecting to see him do next year, is to make that jump, that leap. So if he does, then you're getting a guy who how much would you pay Maxi right now? Right? Would you not pay Maxi 35 million a year right now? I would, right? So Stillman says if not for the pandemic, Raps had a winning team and could have repeated without Kawhi. You're saying without the if not for the pandemic, what we had a really good season in the pandemic. So without when we lost Kawhi, right? So I think even with the pandemic, I think what it was is us not having Kawhi, right? I think with Kawhi we would have got to the finals and we would have beat the Lakers because, like I said, we had sorry the Danny Green on our side. I think that would have been the deciding factor. So yeah, but yeah. So back to Quickly, what I was saying is I would give Maxi 35 million. That's the type of player I think that Masai is hoping to see Quickly grow into. 22 points a game, but Quickly is a scorer. He's a scoring guard, right? So he's more of a two guard to me than a point guard, but he can play the point, right? So he's a two-way guard. So with him being that type of player, and if Raptors want to get the most success out of that type of situation, I feel like you have to have a real good playmaking point guard or a good playmaker. I think that playmaker is going to be Scotty Barnes. The way things are looking right now, Scotty Barnes is going to have the ball in his hands a lot, right? And him and Quickly will probably share the playmaking duties, which it'll be interesting to see how they work that out. There was times people saying that they thought Scotty Barnes would play the point guard. Uh, like I said, he's more of a point forward, but him playing beside Iman Quickley, they will share the point guard duties. I really want to see them get like a natural point guard, though. I really want to see that. I know they picked up Devion Mitchell. He struggles He's not a consistent shooter, and his playmaking is decent at best. I wouldn't say he's a great playmaker. Good defense, but yeah, I want to see them get a playmaking point guard. And obviously, I mentioned that we still need like a big. But 175 mil. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? These are the times. Bags are getting bigger. So this is the team. This is the core squad. Iman Quickley, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes. Hopefully Grady Dick will move into like he'll be like steady, especially hopefully he could move into the starting lineup. But that is definitely the core of the team. Iman Quickley, RJ Barrett, and Scotty Barnes. We'll talk about Scotty Barnes probably tomorrow. He signed a big contract too as well, so we'll talk about him somewhat tomorrow, probably with another topic. Also, maybe some WNBA. I'm thinking about looking at to get into some WNBA topics. So, yeah, let me know what y'all think, though. Especially the question I have that's big: do you think Kawhi's decision to leave Toronto was the worst decision ever? And if you compare that to the decision that Dennis Schroeder made, leaving 84 million on the table, which one do you think is the worst decision? Let me know what y'all think. So, still, man, we looking real good going into next season. Lots of depth everywhere. Yeah, I agree with you. The Raptors do look good looking into next season, but we got to be patient because this is still the development stages in my opinion, and there's still glaring pieces that are missing. Like I said, we need an elite playmaker, and we need a big. We need a big because Pirtle is okay. Uh, okay is not going to do it. And who knows? Maybe Pirtle could step into another level next year, but we're still not there yet. We could possibly have. I think we could have a fun season. Like, well, you'll see some bright. You'll see like some sunshine for the future, but don't expect that we're going to be making the playoffs and trying to challenge for like a championship or anything right away. Probably take another couple years before we get there. So yeah, and the chemistry, the chemistry is what I'm liking the most. I think Masai is more focused on the chemistry, guys that want to not only want to play in Toronto, but that would be interested in playing together, especially with Jacoby Walter and Devian Mitchell, both of them coming from Baylor. And you got the Mogbo guy, him and Scotty Barnes were good friends back in the day. Man Quickley and RJ Barrett, good friends coming from New York. So there's a lot of good chemistry on the team, which is really good. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward to it. But yeah, so that's all we got for tonight. Tomorrow we will come again with another topic. I'm thinking of maybe see what kind of WNBA matches they got because some really good things going on with the WNBA right now. So we'll probably check that out. Justin Danforth asked if Scotty's still injured. I don't think so. I'm not 100% sure. But from what I know, his timeline's good for the beginning of the 2024-25 season. So he should be good to go. All right. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Y'all have a good night, and we will catch y'all on the next one. All right. All right. Cool.